Whether you're a hustler, you're a dreamer, or someone who just wants to see our communities thrive,
we need to actually encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship with a high number of youth unemployed. And now you ask yourself that with our universities producing over 250 graduates every year, who's going to employ them?
Growing up myself, I used to go house to house selling tomatoes, selling sishebo, whatever sishebo what it was. I would go house to house and sell. And so whenever an opportunity would meet me, it would meet me ready.
Sure.
So things like access to market, finance, the assistance is there.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
22 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. Good evening, Groundbreakers, and welcome to another impactful edition of the Groundbreaker Show. This is your trusted platform for spotlighting change makers, fresh ideas, and even community-driven solutions. I am your host, and my name is Pololo N. Madisa. I am second of my name, and tonight we are then thrilled to launch a brand new feature called Kasi Entrepreneurship. Now, this is a segment that is dedicated to uplifting township-based entrepreneurs, right? Uncovering hidden gems within our communities and even helping build a stronger, even more inclusive local economy. One would then say, in a country where youth unemployment remains alarmingly high, and even small businesses continue to face mounting challenges, this particular segment or this feature, it aims to offer real answers and even meaningful connections. And joining us tonight are two individuals at the forefront of this particular mission. First of all, that is Mr. Kabelo John Makopo, who is now the founder of this particular segment, an initiative that is committed to empowering small-scale entrepreneurship where they are in the heart of our townships. And second is Mr. Tshediso Serei, who is now a seasoned transformation specialist at Insignis, who then brings over 15 years of experience across operations, HR, finance, and even transformation, and who shares a deeper passion for then unlocking, the potential of one would then say inclusive economic participation. And tonight we'll then be unpacking on how young entrepreneurs can access support, how initiatives like Kasi Entrepreneurship are then reshaping the game, and how all of this ties into building a better South Africa. So I'll then say this to you. Whether you're a hustler, you're a dreamer, or someone who just wants to see our communities thrive, stay tuned. You definitely don't want to miss this. 25 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock, let me welcome the two gentlemen on the line. Mr. Serei and Mr. Makopo, good evening and welcome to, I have to then say, Kasi Entrepreneurship. How are you, gentlemen?
No, we are good. Good evening, Mr. Madisha.
Good evening, Mr. Madisha.
And to the listeners at home.
Sure. We'll definitely start it off here. And I reminded Obakeng before he left that if you do remember, we once had Mr. Makopo on Plug a Graduate. Right?
Yes.
And I felt that the conversation was not really, or did not end in the light way that we wanted it to go about. But
Yes.
if you then could go back a little bit, introduce yourself, what then Makopo Holding is all about, the type of business or logistics that they are into, so that we can, get into heart of this particular segment.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. Makopo Holdings, it's actually a consortium of small businesses that was established way back, let's say maybe 10 years back in 2015.
Yeah.
Then when I started out, it was on the issue that I was actually retrenched at work.
Yeah.
And somehow I was part of the statistics, this high unemployment rate that you see. And then now what I did is, at the time, then I needed to start out, I needed to be economically, I needed to participate in the mainstream of the economy.
Sure.
But now, how do you do that if now you cannot be employed? So now, fortunately enough, I then took a decision to register Makopo Holdings, but with a bigger picture of building a legacy business, something that will outlive me, not something just to survive from. And what I did, and then I registered Makopo Holdings, started out, we opened our doors as just a cleaning company. Because one has to, because I think it's just the pernicious myth, and that we really need to debunk, to say you must have something for you before you can start. either maybe you need a technical skill or something to start, or maybe you need financial capital or so. So with me, it was the issue of, because all what I've ever known was just being a cleaner. So now I've started out as a cleaning business. And later on, then we, just because of the environment, or should I say the industry where we were operating in, we were in a steel industry and helping them to environmentally comply. So now what I did is, then at the later stage, then we became sort of like a specialist cleaning business in that industry. Then now I had to rethink, because there were a lot of threats to the business model as well, because it was mainly more reliant only on contracts. And now it was not such a self-sustaining model, because now the thing is, if you are contracted to someone else or to any business, if that business catches the flu, if it sneezes now you will catch the flu. Then I had to rethink the whole model and say, maybe I need to diversify it into other industries. And then what I did, then I came up with, because of the opportunity that existed in that industry, and what I did, then I came up with Makopo Engineering. I will try to compress the whole thing in a very short space of time. Then Makopo Engineering, what we do, we offer production management services to steel companies, but also in various industries. But we worked with a lot of companies like India Steel, Pioneer Metals, Veer Steel Mills, and Unica Iron and Steel. And that was way back in 2017. And then fast forward from then I ventured into a transport industry, and then I started a transport industry business, Makopo Consortium. We were moving minerals around from Bakersford to City Deep.
Logistic company.
Yes. And just because I did not do my homework very well, and unfortunately that's another beautiful story to tell, then I had to close the business, I think in 2019 or so. And then, because already I'm in a steel industry, and because of the relationships that I do have with the primary steel producers, then I came up with the idea of, how about if maybe I can just take advantage of these relationships and commercialize them. But what I did from there, then I opened Makopo Steel. This was a steel outlet business whereby we were selling steel products, the very same steel that we were producing. Then we were retailing them. It was kind of like a retail outlets for steel products.
Sure.
Yes.
It shows that you've been in the trenches of entrepreneurship yourself. We'll definitely get into the heart of that.
Yes.
Let's send the question to Mr. Serei to then. So a little bit about yourself, because people tend to think, no, those people that always speak this fancy English is they're coming in from, because you might find that social blockage. A little bit about yourself before we get in.
Thank you, Pulelo. Vele ke autego kasi ke itswela ko Kanana Okni ke holetse maplasing. I grew up in the farms.
Magdalena do boy.
Magdalena do.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
I came to Pretoria to study, and I've never left. I'm a community developer at heart. I've been privileged to be in a space where I'm afforded the opportunity and the resources to do exactly that while making money, of course. I think it's important to make money. And when you've got money, then you've got the proceeds to go back and build. Because when you have money, you can build sustainable empires, as opposed to just begging and everything falls flat. I play in the transformation space. In simple terms, I play in a space where I will work with the likes of Makopo, who's a startup, who's an entrepreneur, who's looking for some assistance. And on the other hand, I've got a big corporate that is looking to do specific projects, be it for BBBEE purposes or just general CSI giving back.
Yeah.
I would connect the two, and we come up with projects that at the end of the day will be beneficial to a Makopo as well as to the big corporate.
And thank you for that, because I was going to come and ask you to then say, well, what is a transformation strategist? Strategist. With the whole day, we spend the whole day.
I simplify.
Yeah.
Transformation at a basic level means you changing something from what it is to something that you want it to be. That's it. In a context of our country, when we speak of transformation, we're saying we want to change our country from a place where the majority were marginalized, were not actively participating in the economy, to where the majority are actively participating in the economy, and therefore we are moving towards growing the economy together.
Sure.
And that is what transformation means. It could simply mean we want to transform our country from being known for crime to being known for crime-free.
Sure, definitely, very understandable. Let's get into the matter at heart. You know, in South Africa, one would then say township economies remain untapped. It's an untapped potential, with yet many scale entrepreneurs struggling with the limited access to capital, knowledge, and even networks. The emergence of such targeted initiatives like Kasi Entrepreneurship, presents a new wave of hope. And I'll address this question to you, Mr. Makopo. When I said you spent years in the trenches of entrepreneurship yourself, what gaps did you observe within the economy ya Kokasi that led you to then establish this particular segment, this feature? What is the core mission behind Kasi Entrepreneurship?
The core mission behind Kasi Entrepreneurship, I think it's the reality at the ground, what informed us to actually come up with the idea to say, and also for us to actually collaborate with the management of the TUTFM. It was on the basis that for the very same strategic intent of the show to say, we need to actually encourage the spirit of entrepreneurship in the basis that right now, Mr. Madisha, if because I know I'm just struggling a little bit, but right now I've been looking at the statistics South Africa, the employment rate and unemployment rate. And I've been saying it even during the Black Graduate Show to say we really cannot afford, with this economy that is lingering around 0.3%. And now you're waiting for someone to employ you. And some of us, you find that you do have the technical know-how. Mm-hmm. It's just that you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit.
Sure.
And the other thing is, and what saddened me the most was when a statistician general was saying that even people who actually gave up looking for jobs, and the amount to 3.5 million.
Yes.
And more than anything else, then I realized that for people who actually have the capacity, who are able to go to work, but they cannot find jobs, there are over 8 million. So now the combined number of people that are actually not working, who were supposed to work, are over 13 million.
Yeah.
So now the official stats for our unemployment rate in a country like this, it's sitting at 32%. But unofficial stats, it's over 43%. So now, here's the thing, with a high number of youth unemployed, and now you ask yourself that with our universities producing over 250 graduates every year, who's going to employ them?
Sure.
So I think that was the whole thing to say, but now maybe we need to push this narrative to say, guys, it's one thing that our government is not leveraging on, or maybe before we can start blaming government, what is it that are we doing?
What we can do.
That we can do, because this country does have a very, 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 very low rate of self-employment.
Yeah.
So now the show, it's all about just encouraging that to say you can still be self-employed. You can start your own business.
Sure.
You can start something, your own business. Some they call it side hustle or so, but you can actually start your own business instead of just waiting for someone to employ you. Yeah. And that statistics also showed that it actually takes on average, it actually takes more than 12 months to find another job, if you are lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, and then it's on those bases that we decided to say, can we come up with a feature to actually encourage people to say, whether you are a graduate or so, you do have a technical know-how, you do have skills, like how I started out.
Yeah.
Now I partnered with very big conglomerates through my other businesses that they were able to identify us, and that's how I was able to reshape the whole business portfolio. But I started out very simple.
Sure.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
With cleaning.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to start something that is capital intensive.
Yeah.
You can just start with simple thing that you know. Just cleaning. You clean for someone, then you clean for, then they pay.
Yeah.
I told you even before that the moment you do something that someone is willing to pay for that, but that someone is not willing to do that, the moment you tick those boxes, you are in business. Now you are economically, now you participate in this mainstream of the economy.
Yeah, and I love what you said. And where's Liseja? I wanted to add, Liseja, that you heard what Mr. Makopo said. You must think of who's gonna employ you. So I might start a company. I might employ you, Liseja. Rest assured, when you graduate, Chairman, House of Madisa Art Enterprises will be there to employ you. But let's look into it in this particular matter, and I'll bring the question to you, Mr. Serei, that it's not just about launching a business, right? It's about building one that can thrive. Sustainable empowerment means transferring skills, knowledge, and even creating market access opportunities. And I want to bring this to you today from your work as a transformation specialist. How important is then skills development and compliance training for the young, or rather I call them SMMEs, and what role should initiatives like this particular one, gas entrepreneurship, play in terms of this broader ecosystem?
Thank you. I think from what Mr. Makopo was saying in terms of the high unemployment rates, especially with the youth, therein lies an opportunity for skills, for labor.
Yeah.
You walk through townships, you've got labor readily available. And therefore, when we have someone who's got a brilliant idea, if they can launch it and execute on it, the labor is available, it's there.
Yeah.
So in the space that I play in, one of the initiatives that we do is we have programs where we upskill young people, not just for employment, specifically focusing on self-employment. We've got a couple of initiatives where we've got incubations, where we run new venture creations, and so that we can see if the youth are cut out for entrepreneurship and what opportunities can they avail themselves for. In terms of a platform such as this one, I think it's a great initiative.
Yeah.
And I think we should be inviting more Kasi entrepreneurs to come and tell real stories. Like Makopo is saying, if someone is not willing to do the cleaning,
who's going to do it?
Somebody must do it.
Must do it.
And if somebody is not willing, half the time they're willing to pay.
They're willing to pay.
And therein lies the opportunity. Yeah. In his example, there was a compliance opportunity. It wasn't just about cleaning. Because if you do not dispose of the waste in a responsible manner, there's hefty penalties.
Sure.
And those are the type of spaces where, as in Tshediso, we play into. We understand compliance holistically. We go to these big corporates and say, you've got a compliance burden. What are you doing to reduce it?
Yeah.
And we say, here's how we can help you. By partnering with us, we can bring young people to come and help you. As an example, one of the projects we do is waste projects.
Sure.
Exactly to that point, to say, how do we dispose of the waste responsibly such that you avoid those hefty penalties? The moment you speak like that to a big corporate, they open doors.
Sure.
And young people can walk in.
In Tshediso.
In Tshediso.
Did a lot of butchering there. I'm sure when you're listening to me, like a yarr, butchering such names. But I understand in Tshediso. I'm not going to forget that. Mr. Makopo, I'll bring in this particular question towards you, and then after this, maybe we might take a very short ad break. But starting out a business in townships, and also Mr. Serei, you'll also maybe understand this, to say it comes with a lot of serious challenges.
Yes.
Right? Challenges from red tape, poor infrastructure, limited mentorship, and even access to customers. And this often keep informal entrepreneurs from growing up or even surviving beyond the startup base. I want to understand this.
Yes.
This particular segment of feature that we're starting now, Another person will then say, how, or rather, what specific support, types of support will this particular entrepreneurship provide to address these challenges?
The support, for example, what I really want to say before I answer your question is this. This feature, it's going to be more about giving out the information, the support that that they will get. We will be bringing people from different. I don't know if I really understood your question very well, but now, can you please just repeat the question?
Yeah,
If-
no,
because
and
it's like
and
I
then
lost you somewhere.
and you will get it once we go in. I'm then saying to
Yeah.
say, specific types of support that
Yes.
you'll be giving or providing to address the challenges. We're looking into the challenges that young cast entrepreneurship might have. One would then say, I want to start this particular business, but I don't have the capital. Or the network, and you then come in and to say, no, Polelo, I know Mr. Tshediso from this particular
Exactly.
he could then hook you up. There is support. The
Yes.
networking, I was going in that particular
okay.
direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, no, we will be inviting a lot of people, some who are actually behind well-established businesses that they will give the support. We will be inviting corporates that are actually in a lookout for small businesses that they can actually procure their services. We will be bringing people who will bring more information as to how you can go about finding the financial support. Yeah, we will be inviting a lot of people to the show, to this feature, and I believe in its impact that it's going to make.
Sure. You know what? Let's make it that 30, not even 30 seconds, but let me count it down. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 16 minutes before the hour 8 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. You are still listening to TUTFM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. This is the ground break. A quick ad break. When I come back from that, I want to look into the young people, the unemployment, and even the entrepreneurship, certain issues that are facing the youth, certain issues that young people are going through. Mr. Makopo is here to then unpack everything. Mr. Tshediso will definitely give out insights coming in from the years that he has worked in terms of transforming. Because people will then say this, I want to have a cleaning company. How do I make it big? That I often operate coming in from Dubai. This gentleman that are sitting here in front of me will definitely answer that. Take a quick ad break and I'll be back after this. You know what? We're definitely not going to waste time because this is the Kasi entrepreneurship. I have Mr. Tshediso coming in from Makasana, Kokanana. You know why when my glitter boy says, Go Makasana. For Makasana. This particular segment is for the kids, or everyone rather than the kids, but everyone coming in from Makasana.
018.
Salute. Yeah, that's how we're doing it. But gentlemen, we have a lot of segments I want us to touch base on. Young people, unemployment, entrepreneurship, access to funding, markets, and even the opportunities that are there. And I know some of these things will continue going forward, extrapolating on them as the show goes forward, right? But let's start it here. And Mr. Makopo, I'll take the question to you first to then say, South Africa's youth, like you were saying outside, face some of the most highest unemployment rates in the world. Many have then resorted to entrepreneurship out of necessity, but without the right support, even the worst innovative ideas, or even the most rather innovative ideas, can fall to the ground. I want to bring in this, right, to say, what's your take on this misconception about Kasi businesses can scale from or compete on a national level? How are you proving this idea wrong through your work?
Yeah, that is why I will just keep on saying it's a pernicious myth. It's something that we really need to debunk.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that Kasi entrepreneurship, or should I say, I think there's just too much money in Mokasi. If there was no money in Mokasi, to be quite honest with you, these multinational companies that you see them heading Kokasi, Nkebedi stay Mokasi. Yeah, and then because they are here to actually partake in our Kasi township economy, which actually amounts to, I can't really quantify it into the real amount, but it's somewhere in the regions of billions.
Hey, Mr. Makopo, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. I went for an entrepreneurship training a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
I didn't believe it, but they put down a structure so how we can calculate that billions. So
Yes.
Shanguve alone a year, it reaches about 10 billion rand circulating.
And we are not tapping into that market.
She.
And as South Africans, it's very painful.
Yeah.
We're actually waiting for someone to come and employ us in our own townships.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the thing is, I know we may blame it to someone else to say, but now there's no support. I may need capital to. Let me give you an example with us. We are right headquartered Kokasi. We are the biggest employer than most of the companies that you see, whether Kobodi Kaikai. And we are right here, Kokasi.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're sitting at the staff complement, over 300 employees.
Sure.
And a Rekokasi.
Yeah.
Across our little businesses, Chirin and Lejona. And to give you a practical example, I did not wait for someone from somewhere else to say, Kele Kokasi, maybe someone will help me. These people, they actually identified me. They find me on the way already on my entrepreneurial path. And they said, you know what, I will give you one practical example. We do have a partnership with one of the cell phone companies, the network cell phone companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we sell their IT solutions. And you can tell me, Mr. Madisha, to say, for you to build a telecommunication company, you really need maybe hundreds of millions.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yes. And then, but this company came to us to say, you know what, we've got the infrastructure. You don't have to spend hundreds of millions to build this kind of value chain, the outbound and inbound logistic kind of things. All what we need you to do, can we tap into your space?
Mm-hmm.
You resell our products, our IT products, to businesses steadily in Kokasi.
Sure.
Yes. Now this company is actually migrating from just being a cell phone company or a network provider to a techno company.
Sure.
But now, what they've realized, there are a lot of businesses, Kokasi, the provider, got these IT solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then out of that, Mr. Marisha, then I was able to build sales and marketing teams, which is another employment that we have created.
Another employment angle.
Yes. Now, what I can say, you don't really need that much of the support. All what you need is to make the first step.
Yeah.
To say, I am starting out.
Yeah.
The support, there are a lot of support out there, like Mr. Serei is saying.
Yeah.
Like now, how I started, I was actually helped through enterprise development initiative of Unique Iron and Steel.
Mm-hmm.
They took a way rural business. They gave us the first contract. Then they were able to grow us up and mentor us into a black industrialist company. That's where the transformation thing comes.
Yeah,
yes.
And sorry to cut you off there,
Yes.
Mr. Makopo, abruptly. So I want to bring in Mr. Serei there because the pointers that you're making there follows up to my question to him to then say, from your experience across, transformation and operations, what structural or systematic barriers are limiting youth participation in the formal economy? And what can then be done to remove these particular barriers?
I think the barriers are more internal than what is perceived to be external. I'm going to take a journey back and I'll come back to the question. Our parents raised us with money from selling magwinya, lidi tamat. And some of our parents are still doing that today.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Sure.
They still believe in their vision. They're still doing it today. And what does it cost to run such a business? You buy a bag of flour and some oil. Okay, fish oil now is expensive, but you know,
yes,
it's relatively easy.
Sure.
We are very quick to say barriers to entry is access to market, finance, and all these things. Mr. Makopo makes a valid point that when an opportunity rises, it needs to meet you ready.
Sure.
He was ready. He was on his entrepreneurial journey.
Sure.
Now, growing up, we had guys in the classrooms who were selling sweets and this and that and that. And those type of guys have gone on to open enterprises today.
Sure. You know what? Just today, I'm going to then take a drink there, and I'm seeing these other guys, they're selling sweets. And I'm saying to myself that if I had, I'm not sure if the persistence or the drive to do that, I could have been managed now for the 4 years that I went to university, because as talkative I am, I would have made real money.
That drive is gone. It's very easy to walk into a tuck shop close by and just buy. We have stopped thinking. Growing up myself, I used to go house to house selling tomatoes, selling sishebo, whatever sishebo what it was. I would go house to house and sell. And so whenever an opportunity would meet me, it would meet me ready.
Sure.
So things like access to market, finance, the assistance is there.
Yeah.
If you I was saying to Mr. Makopo earlier on is, when you want to enter into the conversation of enterprise and supplier development in the transformation space or in the BEE space, as a Kasi entrepreneur, you need to go there prepared with your value proposition. You're not gonna approach a big corporate and say, "Oh, I'm a struggling Kasi entrepreneur, please help me." Nobody wants to give anything for free. So, however, when you come to the table and say, "I'm a Kasi entrepreneur, this is what I'm bringing to the table, I just need a small push," a corporate will listen and will push you. Even smaller other businesses around you will be happy to push you because they can see the value that you are bringing to the table.
Definitely. 4 minutes before the hour, 8 o'clock. And after 8 o'clock, the gentlemen are saying I should let them go. I don't think I can. There's a lot of questions that needs to be answered here. But I want to bring in the issue of skills, technology, and even future readiness. Because within everything that we do, we need to get those people ready. You know, there's I remember that the lady that facilitated our training, Jeshri, she said, "We can give you the skills. And if you don't know what to do with them, that is on you." I want to bring in this. Today's economy requires more than just the traditional hustle mode that one has. It demands tech savviness, digital marketing, branding, compliance, and business literacy, all areas where young people either thrive or fall behind depending on their support structures. I'll pose this question to you, Mr. Makopo, to then say, how will you be then integrating digital skills, branding, and innovation into the Kasi entrepreneurship model so that entrepreneurs are ready for the modern business challenges? Because I think it's I can start off a business. You can then tell me to then go off start a business. I'm starting out a business called House of Madisa Art Enterprises. It's a raw model. But now when we go into the digital age, I need to be able to be tech savvy.
Yes.
Any plans to then modernize Kasi entrepreneurship so that people that will be under this particular entrepreneurship are tech savvy?
Yes. Before we can even go there, Mr. Madisha, I really have a different view to this thing that there are still a lot of traditional businesses that we can still, that I believe that bottom end of the market, it's not well tapped into. Yes. And the other thing, there are institutions that they do actually offer services along this program for the next maybe few months or 6 months. We will be bringing companies that as a way of what is the right way of giving back as a corporate citizen. There are companies that are actually more than willing, like he's saying, you need to be well positioned, show that willingness that I only need the push here. But now there's a lot of support that we will bring through the show, in the show, but through a lot of tech companies that they will be willing to actually mentor or help small businesses that are not that tech savvy. For example, right now, in our group of businesses, we need people that are actually digital marketers.
The sages there.
Yes,
you might get a job after this.
Yes, and we have been looking for such people for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah,
and then we have realized that now we cannot find them around. But surely someone somewhere does have the necessary skills and is saying the person does not know where to go.
Mr. Makopo, I'll tell you this. With this particular CAS entrepreneurship that you're starting, you will find those people coming in all the way from Soshanguve. We do have those people. Mr. Serei, I saw you had a point to make with this particular question.
Yeah, so I wanted to add that what CAS entrepreneurs can expect is from the Insignis platform, we've got an e-learning platform that we will make available to qualifying candidates. That's the first step. We make the platform available, and we will then follow that up with practical application. As an example, we've got the waste projects that we're running, and there in digital marketing, digitizing, the stuff like that comes into play. And once entrepreneurs have proven themselves with the first step, therein lies the opportunity where we can open doors and say, you've proven yourself, here's a contract, you run with this campaign for us.
Yeah. And then while you're still there, as someone who has then worked in operations, HR and transformation, what advice would you give to some young entrepreneur about building the right team, systems, and governance from day one?
I think the first and the most important starting point is your vision is your vision. We could never share the same vision. We could share in the vision, but we could never share the same vision. So be intentional. Don't be quick to invite other people into your vision until you yourself understand your vision. And once you know what is it that you want to build, shop around for people who will journey with you. But don't be quick to try and force people to own in the vision. What I mean by this is if you need to employ someone and pay them handsomely,
do so. I'll pay you handsomely
so that your vision can materialize.
I'll pay handsomely so. You know what? Let me then bring in this couple of questions and I'll direct each of them to you, both of you, because I think we're then about to close it off, right? This is in terms of restoring hope and building resilience. It is the same question that I posed to Mr. Serei, but I posted to you, Mr. Makopo, having to have this consortium of businesses, right? And I think you'd be a very great exemplary of what Pearson will say, Munahawi.
Yes.
Then say, what do you say to a young person like maybe me who then was try to start a business and now they're feeling hopeless? What does resilience look in a practical sense?
I think before you can build something very solid, I don't think you will be able to build something very solid if you have never been on the other side of not succeeding. The moment you make a decision to say, I just want to journey this path of being an entrepreneur, just know that there will be other circumstances that it may not be intentional thing as much as you are so much spirited to say, I want to make it, but now there will always be challenges. But the beauty thing about the whole journey is this, you will fail along the way. I had like almost 9 failures, businesses that I had to close. I think Mr. Serei can attest to this. I think it was when COVID happened.
2020.
I had to retrench 219 people. I think we journeyed the path. We went to CCMA in Benoni, facing employees that actually. How do you go to 219 people and say?
It's child.
That was part of failing as well. But now, the thing is, along the way now, you start learning to say, but how can I now build a business in a way that I will be able to demonstrate that resilience? Yes. Now, the failing part, I think we really need to appreciate and embrace the failing part. Along the way, we will actually somehow fail until you are able to build something very sustainable. So it shouldn't be something that actually tear up anyone to start. Don't look at someone's failures and say, but now the businesses are made for certain people. You just go through it, and if you fail, dust up yourself and you carry on. There's a beauty in actually bouncing back. when I failed, let me give you a practical example. When I failed in 2020, I made the decision, because I did not have the resources to say, can I put all my businesses under business rescue? Because now technically we were insolvent. But now what I did is this. All what I was left with was the spirit of resilience to say, I need to go back there again.
Yeah.
I don't care how I felt, but now the how part of how I go up, that's where I was actually focusing on.
Yeah.
Now, I bounced back more than 20 times from where I was. I had to shut down some of the businesses, retrenched 219 people, lost all my trucks.
Yeah.
And I had some steel hardware stores that I had to close. And then I lost everything. Then I was left with almost nothing. And I was left with the flat that I was paying rent. But now to bounce back to a point whereby now I'm able to employ another over 300 employees. Yeah, now failure, it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
That's what I can say. And don't actually be discouraged if you fail on your first business. There are people that failed multiple times until they were able to figure it out. There's actually a study on average to say a lot of companies that were able to found themselves. They actually found themselves after 13 years or so. That's when they were able to build. Some they started at something else and along the journey until they were able to build themselves. Like Lamborghini, it was not a luxury car. It was a tractor manufacturing company.
Yeah.
Maybe because of some failures, then they were able to reshape the whole thing and say, because now failing, it's part of you learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ferracino Lamborghini, there's a story of resilience there. And you know what? I'm going to take a very last quick ad break. When I come back from that, we'll then close. You give your closing remarks, your closing sentiments.
Yes.
And then I'll ask you off air, what did you say to those 219 people when you had to fire them? Because I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, 6 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. I take a very quick ad break. When I come back from that, and then close it off, I give then Mr. Makopo some sentiments to then say what you can expect coming in from the show as it goes on. Mr. Serei to also then close it off. We'll then bring in Mr. Papu coming in from the NCR to then close it off on Financial Tuesday. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back after this. 8 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kasi Entrepreneurship for Makasana. For Makasana. I think it is time we close it off here because this was just an introductory introductory episode. We speak it every single day. That's why when I get home, my grandmother can't talk to me because of they get tired. Yeah, but it was that particular episode. Let me then do this. I give this questions. I'll give you one question, and then at the end of that question, you'll then give out your closing remarks. Yeah. I'll give you a question. At the end of your question, you'll then give out your closing remarks, and then we'll call it night, right?
Okay.
Mr. Makopo, how important it is to have role models, mentors, or even just one success story in your community to keep inspiring other people?
Okay. I think it's very important because firstly, I did not believe in the idea I thought like I can just do it on by myself.
Yeah.
And then until largely what actually contributed to my downfall was the issue of me not having a business coach or a mentor or someone that I look up to.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was the issue of saying, no, I've got it all, I can do it all by myself. Mm-hmm. Let's face it, some of the things that actually attributed to the failure of my businesses were not necessarily external factors or whatsoever. It was the issue of actually not having the mentor. Mm-hmm. And then you really need someone who can walk you the journey, someone who have been there before and who can show you how to do things. Someone who will tell you, no, it's not done this way, do it this way, because that's the only way to learn. You don't have to make costly mistakes. You can just learn from your mentors. You can learn from I think it's quite important. One of the people that I actually listen to when it comes to businesses and advisors, it's the man next to me here, Mr. Serei.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that when I start something, I become so emotional and I cannot detach to that. And then I've seen myself actually burning a lot of millions, burning my hands, burning my cash, because somehow I did not listen to people like him when he was telling me, this is how you must do it. It's not done this way. And I would like to be very much grateful to say I do have two mentors in the steel industry, Mr. Mohammed Qasim, the director of Unica Iron and Steel. The man is such a credible, remarkable man with a beautiful heart. He built me to be the person that I am today with his partner, Mr. Hag. He's actually a financial director of Unica Iron and Steel.
Yeah.
They have been through it all, and I think along the way they were able to amass such a good business judgment because of the things that they are failures, the things that they went through. And they are actually on day-to-day basis, they are actually able to say to me, no, John, this is not how you must manage your finances.
Yeah.
This is not how you must do things, because somehow our decisions impact on those whom their livelihoods actually depends on our businesses.
Yeah.
And I think the short long drive of the question, but I think the short of it all, one really needs a mentor.
Yeah.
You need a mentor, you need a role model, someone that you can look up to, someone that you can learn from their own mistakes, people who have actually journeyed the path before you. Yes.
Yeah. And Mr. Serei, while you're there, your question is to say, you being in the transformation space for that longest of time, 1 minute 30 seconds, and you also put in your closing remarks there. What's your vision for the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to youth entrepreneurship in South Africa? And what would success look like? Real, and on the ground success.
The clock is ticking. We've got a beautiful document called the National Development Plan Vision 2030. We are sitting in 2025. My wish is for us to realize that, because one of the key elements of that is youth development and youth being actively participating within the economy. My desire is for us, first and foremost, to determine what type of economy are we as South Africa.
Oh, yes.
I think one opportunity is we've got labor available, we've got skills available. Is there an opportunity to export those? We live in a global environment now. Can we not export what we have instead of waiting for somebody to come and employ us? So my desire is for us as the youth to take the opportunities that are being presented by the technology, that are being presented by globalization.
Yeah.
Borders are being opened. In closing, I think I am going to humbly request we invited to the next session, where I will detail a little bit more about what we are going to offer as tangible assistance to Kasi entrepreneurs as the Insignis platform. And I think in closing, Kasi entrepreneurs, your dreams are valid. Harvest season is a season. Therefore, there's other seasons where you need to prepare the land, where you need to plow, where you need to water and prepare and then harvest. So let us not be hasty to say, I've failed, when it's not the season to harvest, when it's the season to prepare.
Sure.
I think that
Mr.
Mr. Serei was just more than enough to blow my mind.
Yeah.
In closing, all I can say, we really need to develop entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
We need to do away with this thing, this mentality of the sense of entitlement as black people, whereby we think, that is why in other industries we have, like the construction mafias also, we think everything that comes just by the virtue of having the black color. Now we're entitled to everything.
Yeah.
And somehow the corporates literally can mokas kolota something.
Yeah.
I think it's high time that we meet them in the marketplace. There's big corporates, there's companies that are coming into our spaces, and let's do away with the mentality or someone somehow hira.
Yeah.
You have been to university for 3-4 years. Why can't you just convert what you have learned into something tangible and commercialize that? Already that's intellectual capital, and it's more than enough. It's more than enough to start a business.
Sure.
Yeah.
16 after the hour, 8 o'clock, and that brings us to the end of tonight's ground shifting conversation. And what we've heard is clear: empowering small business is rather not a side mission, it's a national imperative. You know what? Let's try to go and find one particular coming in from the NCR. Ladies, I was hearing, let me put it like this: for making time to speak with us this evening. I know this is not the end of our conversation. We still have a long way to go. And to the viewers coming in from the live Facebook, I'm sorry that I didn't take your questions, but we will take them. We will continue having more sessions like this. For now, let's say good evening.
It's something very important that we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
The feature is going to be every Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So those questions can keep coming in, because the Thursday we're back here again. We're taking those questions.
Same time, same place.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and let's do this.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.